pushing is not easy.
Yeah.
Like I struggle, like labor, fine, quick, easy, because my baby's already right there. Mm-hmm. Pushing sucks for me, man. There's no way to, I'm not going to sugarcoat that. I'm not going to
That's fair.
Zeg's birth, I say, was so gentle and so beautiful. And it was. Yeah. But that doesn't mean there wasn't painful parts.
I always say that it's never easy. You still got to work.
Everybody talks about pain-free birth all the time. Blah, 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 blah. Not everybody gets that.
Not everybody. There's a lot of things that we forget about midwifery, that midwives are human beings. And there's a lot of pressure to be at births, you know, from each other, from our clients, from ourselves. Can you let that go? And just, you know, we were talking about earlier, which I think is going to be a couple great podcasts about soul contracts. Like, what is it? Do I have one with you? Am I supposed to be there? All of those things.
Ready to go whenever. Ready?
All right.
Ready? Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Call the Millers. Grab your cuppa and call us up.
Yeah. Right. Oh, we need a phone number.
We do. Oh, gosh. Could you imagine?
I would love it.
Canada is so hard for stuff like that. Like P.O. boxes and phone numbers. Yeah. We don't, like, they're expensive to have.
Oh, yeah. But you know what I just remembered? When I had my doula business, Full Circle Doula business, and we still had a landline in our home, we were able to get like the second ring. Like if it rang once, it was just like for us. If it rang twice, it was the doula. So that's actually a funny memory. Yeah. I'm that old.
I want to go back.
I want a landline again. I honestly, the other day, I was like, I would like a landline.
I looked into it.
And?
It's expensive.
Yeah.
Because you have to have the cell phone still.
You can't take away from it. I know.
It's awful. I've also looked at like things that hook into your cell phones, like a hand, so I can answer it like that.
Like, hello. Yes.
So that way I can leave it.
Yes, you could.
And just be like, I only answer it if I have to like pick up the receiver. Right? I like that. I feel like that should exist.
I feel like you should get Cody to create it.
Yeah, right. Okay, Cody, here's a project.
Oh, poor Cody.
Oh my gosh. Hi, you guys. If this is your first time seeing us, then I apologize. It would go back and get to know us a little better, but
oh dear.
It's actually Thanksgiving as we're filming this today, so happy Canadian Thanksgiving for all of the Canadians.
Thankful for you.
Thankful for you.
Thankful for us.
We're having her for Thanksgiving today. I'm excited.
Yes, thank you for having me.
We're not having you. We're having the turkey that you brought.
Thank you. Yes. So good.
Oh gosh.
Awesome.
Okay, so we thought today would be a good day to talk about Zeg's birth, which is my third child. We've kind of talked about the first time we met with my oldest son's birth, and we kind of did all of that, but we've done all of my births since that together. So we have some birth stories to go through, and it's easier for me to share my birth stories because I can actually say whatever I want, and I'm so public that I don't care. Yeah. So we can kind of dissect some moments in this birth a little better, and then hopefully give you guys more of a well-rounded story or takeaway or something.
For sure.
Now, if you go back and you know that my husband had a vasectomy, and then we reversed the vasectomy, and then the next result of that was Zeg, which is my son. His name is Zagreus. It's really nerdy and very mouthy to say. But yeah, he was born after quite the adventure of getting to him, but it was actually a really beautiful pregnancy.
You did amazing. I mean,
issues.
Honestly, it was fantastic.
It was very calm.
Best email. I'm not sure if you'll remember me.
That's how we started.
I would.
Hey,
hi. Okay, first of all, your name.
Yeah, right.
Hard to forget.
You were like Rainbow.
Yes.
What are you saying?
Of course. Yes.
Oh, goodness.
No, that was a lovely.
It was so fun. It was like, I think we were both like, yay.
Oh,
like, finally,
honestly.
we get to work together. Well, because the first time I actually reached out to you is I had a chemical pregnancy right before. And so I told you about it. So I didn't know what to do. Yeah. And that's the first time we touched base.
Right.
And then I think a couple times we like maybe emailed each other just checking in.
So how long, how many, was it months, or how long was that before you actually got pregnant with Zeg?
Oh, months.
So
I had a chemical pregnancy the first, he had his reversal, and then I think in September was the chemical pregnancy. He had his reversal in August. So it was like that first cycle.
Right.
And then it took us 7 cycles to get pregnant with Zeg.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
So
it was a while.
It was a while.
Yeah, for sure.
Then when I finally got pregnant with him, it was just smooth sailing. It was a very easy pregnancy with
You
him.
did good. You did really. And your first, like, you're planning home.
Yeah, it was like an absolutely home.
Yeah. Wasn't an option really for you.
Mm-hmm.
No, that was, you did great. And then your kids were old enough to remember it all. Like, that's still.
That was so special.
Yeah, that was so.
This birth has a lot in it that we plan to talk about here because I don't know. How do I explain this? As a birth worker, you go into a birth and it is magical and beautiful. Every birth changes you, I feel like. Every birth adds to your soul.
Yep.
Some births are just a little closer to home, maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
And this birth was really interesting, I think. Just the way it happened, the day it happened, like all of these factors that came into it.
Yeah.
I also think about this sometimes and I'm like, imagining my next birth, I'm like, I hope it's similar to Zeg's because I love how I handled the labor and everything. Mm-hmm. It was very peaceful.
It was very peaceful. It was very quiet.
Very calm.
Cody, right? That was always, he always knows right when to step in.
Yeah.
He always just does. And it would have been your first water birth.
Yeah, because I got out of the tub.
That's right.
The last one. Yeah,
that's right.
So it was my first planned home birth, my first water birth, but it didn't feel like my first home birth. Like I just felt like an old hat already somehow.
Yeah, that was true, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so true. I remember coming and it was an interesting day in midwifery. There was lots of things kind of happening that day. Some I would have been happy to be part of, some that I knew my heart couldn't do that day.
Yeah.
And I remember when you called, I thought, oh, thank you, God. Like, honestly, but then my panic became, who am I going to call for backup?
Okay, so let's take it back a little bit to so my water broke. I'm a little bit odd, a little bit of an anomaly. My water always breaks first before my contractions with every single one of my babies so far.
Right.
So I knew we kind of had it ready. Like when my water breaks, I call you because we don't know if it's going to be 2 hours or if it's going to be a little bit longer. Mm-hmm. So 4:30 again in the morning, my water broke. I called you.
Yeah.
And then I remember just taking a shower after and then letting you know when they started, which they started immediately in the shower.
Right.
And then I called you when I got out and just let you know, like, hey, we're starting up. But it was minus 50 degrees Celsius with the wind chill that day. It was the winter solstice.
Honestly.
Well,
I just can't.
We had I was so calm until the week leading up because my guest date was the 18th of December. And then I passed that. Yeah. And then Christmas was coming up.
Yes. Oh, right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So we wanted to have a baby.
Yeah. I don't know why I started panicking. It was fine if he was born on Christmas.
Yeah.
But I think because I had other kids involved too, I was like, I just don't want this to be at Christmas.
Probably is part of it for sure.
Right.
Just get your life.
I mean, not everything is rational when you're pregnant. Mm-hmm. It's not always sometimes you tunnel vision a little bit, and I definitely do.
Yeah, which is fair though. And Christmas is a big deal in your house, though. It's not like it's a lighthearted. Oh, it's just Christmas. We're gonna have a baby on this day. I was thinking about the future.
I was like, I really don't want him to have to be born on Christmas and have to battle Christmas for his birthday.
Yeah.
His whole life.
Whole life.
So I was like, please come early. And then we were like, maybe it'll be on the solstice. So, which is a big meaningful day for us, especially because I've got pagan stuff.
Yeah. And it's a big deal for
the winter solstice is such a magical, wonderful day. It's when we celebrate a lot. So the fact that I woke up solstice morning to my water breaking was this, it just made sense.
Yeah.
You know how when you go into labor, I don't know if other people have experienced this, but you wonder what day it's going to be. And then you go into labor and you're like, yep, this is the day. This makes sense.
For sure.
So that happened with him. And then, I called you and you started your car. It had to be 6:30 in the morning. You were like, all right, I'm going to let my car run for a little bit because
honestly, if
you have to park outside in Canada and it's that cold, your car needs to run for a little while. Otherwise, you're not getting to where you want to go.
Yeah. It's freezing.
It was so cold.
So cold that day.
But not only, so there's some sensitive stuff that we don't necessarily want to say that was happening in the world of midwifery locally for our city. And this event had a lot of the midwives away.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a crazy thing because...
Well, we also, I think, thought would we make, there was always a talk, would we make it? Are we all going to get there?
Yeah.
Is everybody going to be there? Will it be really, really fast? And
because I have a history of having very, very quick births. So we didn't know what this one would be.
Yeah, they're babies.
But I think I knew by 7 a.m. I knew that it was going to be slower. Well, because it had already been. So I think when I called you, I was like, okay, I think you have time to like heat your car up and come, because if I haven't already gone into like transition
full
by now,
we'll probably have a minute.
then we've
That's
got
right.
some
Yeah, I
time.
remember that.
Which was kind of nice in itself. It was just so gentle,
peaceful,
and slow. And I woke the kids up, and then you came in around, I think 7:30. You got to my house, and then another midwife had come with you, because again, I'm sure it works like this in most places where you work in teams of two. Usually. Just to help you with like paperwork and all that kind of stuff. And then she took off, and then it was just you, and then it became, who's the backup midwife?
Who's it going to be? Yeah, it's so true. That was a day of, who's meant to be at your birth is meant to be at your
because
birth.
We have had a lot of questions, and a lot of, I've talked to women over the years about this too. A lot of worries come in about like, what if my birth team that I chose isn't there? What if my midwife works in a team of 3, or there's a team of 4, or 2? What if I don't get the midwife that I really connect with? Like, there's a lot of panic around that.
There's a lot of panic about that.
And it's
meant to be
valid, but who's meant to be at your birth?
Totally. Really well, I think, there's so many pieces to that. Midwives are human beings. Right?
Well, truly, you cannot be on call 24/7 all the time of your life.
Nope.
It's the reality.
You do it and it doesn't work. And then life happens, that day was that, right? Like, how are we going to manage that? I wasn't worried about you at all. It wasn't it at all.
No, but we were like, it was
so cold here too.
We needed another person for the just in case, because like vehicles were not running that day. The roads were ice. It was snowing. Like, that's when you have to worry about, okay, should something go wrong, can an ambulance get to us in time? So having an extra set of hands, so having an extra set of hands is just a good precaution.
That was a good one for that, for sure. Yeah, but it was that was a day of just exactly who was meant to be here at that time was meant to be here.
Can I pause this and ask you something?
Yes, of course, please.
Maybe I just feel like this fits well in here. So as a midwife, how did you come to the point where you got more comfortable, or are you comfortable going on a vacation or doing things for you and being able to like hand your pager off and be okay with that? Because it's hard. You had to learn to live your life.
Would you?
As well as be a midwife, because again, you can't be on all the time. You can't be,
and it's tricky. I mean, most of us have worked in all different dynamics and teams and call schedules and all the things. And right now, I do that 24/7, and now it's caught up to me, right? Yeah. So I know that moving forward over the next little while, I will have to have dedicated days off for my health and my mind and my children and my people. Like, there's a whole part of us, our families and our friends and our partners, all these things. It has to be that.
Yeah. You can't ever go on vacation.
I very rarely, or you set it up. Historically, like, I mean, I don't know if you remember when I worked with a midwife and we would have a month on, a month off. If I could recreate that, I would. It was a beautiful life. Beautiful.
And of course,
but you have to be careful.
Happen.
Yes.
Because like if there's a birth you really want to be the one that is there, then then for that one birth in the month or something, I'm ready.
Yeah, and you have to be really careful about what you promise people. Yes. And you can't who knows? I could die tomorrow. Yeah, I'm pretty much full until July. Like, that's a lot. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things that we forget about midwifery, that midwives are human beings, and there's a lot of pressure to be at births, from each other, from our clients, from ourselves. I touched that. I'm sorry. It's like crappy. So it's more, can you let that go? And just, we were just talking about earlier, which I think is going to be a couple of great podcasts about soul contracts. Like, what is it? Do I have one with you? Am I supposed to be there? All of those things.
Well, coming to the
guilt.
Who's supposed to be at your birth? And
who's supposed to be there?
Whose birth are you supposed to attend?
Whose births are we supposed to attend? And I think that if we work in our ego places of our lives, we're meant to be at all of them, and we are the only ones that can do that, and we are the ones that are going to do that the best.
That's a great point. Like, somebody else coming and taking my place, they're not going to do it as well as me. Yeah. That's the ego talking.
Oh, your ego.
How many? I'm sure you've had. Like, we don't have to talk about these at all, obviously, because we can't. But I wonder how many times in your life where maybe you've missed a birth that ended up being like a really big gong show, and it was actually kind of a blessing that you didn't have to be in the middle of it. I'm sure that's probably happened.
Well, probably, like either way,
You've been right?
For
too long for it not to, right?
I don't know. This week's been a doozy. You never stop learning. But I think there is that truthfulness, though, right? If sometimes it's a relief,
Yeah.
you know, and sometimes it's a grief.
Yeah.
Truly. I mean, I truly believe in God's plan right now more than I ever have in my whole life, you know, that really, like, I was meant to be at these births with you because it's
100%.
gotten us here.
Well, can I say, well, nobody knows who the original midwife was. I can cut this part out if we need to.
Oh,
but
okay.
Nobody knows who the original midwife was that came.
Yeah, it just wasn't a fit.
It wasn't a job. Like, immediately I met her and was like, nope.
Yeah, you knew.
But I knew she was leaving, so it was fine.
Yeah, it sort of all really mysteriously worked out. It was like magic, kind of all
crazy.
Just everything worked out.
You ended up calling a midwife. So let's go back into it a little bit. So So the other midwife leaves, and my labor is progressing beautifully. I'm laboring in the kitchen. That makes me laugh every time because you had this dream that I was going to birth in the kitchen. One of my babies. It's so funny. And I was laboring in there. That's funny.
So funny.
Maybe one day.
Maybe. Nobody will make it. You're birthing in your kitchen. Great.
Watch somehow.
Honestly.
Something comes up where we like end up in the same house we just were. We buy that house. Oh my gosh, no.
Gosh.
I'm not buying house.
Maybe. We digress.
We're not going that way. Okay, so then you have to find a midwife who is available.
And wants to drive in that.
And wants to drive in there. So
totally. And we did.
You did.
It was like the perfect
You ended up finding midwife like on the other side. Like, what was it? Way north of the city or way west?
North of the city.
Okay. So like just really far away. Who said yes? And
yeah,
said
she came.
Come.
Yeah, that worked out beautifully. It was so peaceful.
And she ended up being the perfect attending for my birth.
Totally.
Like her energy was exactly what I needed.
Yeah.
And she just let you, like,
just
she didn't step into your, like, I think she came in, assessed the like relationship, the vibe, and just was like, I remember her sitting and reading gardening books and herbalism books that I had all, like, because I use books as decor. And so even in my birth video I can see her like flipping through books.
Serious?
Just so beautifully, just calm and relaxed.
I love it.
It was so gorgeous.
And then was there anyone else? Like, I don't think there was anyone else though that came that day. That was it. Just the kids. Yeah.
Well, because my one friend was originally supposed to be there, but she had work. Just because the day it was. But yeah, and again, but we have this in Zephyr's birth too, my fourth baby, who they were supposed to be a few people there that weren't able to come, but who is meant to be will be there.
Totally. And it can be hard,
and
you know, even being like, you know, the birthing mom and you're not getting who you thought. Or I mean, there's sometimes too, like there can be two births going on at a time.
Yes.
We can't all be, you can only be in one place. So that's tricky.
Can we have a moment to like plug? This is why maybe if this is a really big worry for you, getting a doula would be a really good idea.
Getting a doula.
Because your doula is going to be your doula.
Your doula is 9 times out of 10, your doula.
Yes. Like 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
We do, like for us, we have a little collective, a birth collective. And so there's doulas that can back each other up if something crazy happens in your personal life. Which is important for birth workers to have that too.
It's true. Oh, yeah.
Because imagine not knowing and then just feeling the pressure of like, okay, let's say my 2-year-old is sick and I just have to drop my 2-year-old off and go.
I just had another thought about that though, like the pressure that we put on each other about that.
Right.
Even about birthing moms, if you just went into who's meant to be there, and it's interesting because if you had an OB, you don't know who you're going to get.
Choice.
It's who's on, unless there are some very, very like extenuating circumstances where like some of those like really passionate whatevers will do, but there's not really another real like birth working. You don't know who your nurses are going to be. You don't know who your OBs are going to be. You don't know who your family docs will be. But there's a lot of pressure on midwives for that, I think, which turns into a bad cop, good cop kind of thing too. Sometimes when we're on teams of two, that happens. Well, I don't like her. Well, that's too bad. Sorry. Like you can try harder.
It's the same thing of like, okay, obviously there's a lot of problems and we're going to talk about this more in future podcasts of birth work and what midwifery has kind of become and what it's trying to go back to. And there's like this section of midwives and birth workers who are trying to like return to to a root. But even in that, it's very easy to blame a midwife you're expecting and do you know what I mean? Like sometimes it's just very easy to pin everything when you have a more personal relationship with them, when you know them better. And that is the unfortunate reality of
True.
of having that close-knit
What I would say
relationship.
as a midwife over the last little bit, when I've done my solo practice more and more like home visits and longer visits or whatever, the outcomes are better.
Of course.
It's so interesting to watch. But also with that, it's the pressure to be that. Does that make sense? Like,
Right.
So you're like, okay, well, I better not go away that weekend, or I better,
Mhm.
I'm not going to pass my pager. I better not, in case. And 9 times out of 10, nothing goes on and you wish you'd gone, kind of thing.
You would have, you missed your trip and you didn't need to.
Totally. But there is a pressure about it. I would say it's true on everybody kind of involved in that. But with the flip, whoever's meant to be there is meant to be there, or not.
Truly.
If we really could just hand that over.
And does this have to do with confidence in a way, in a small way? Like, there's a lot of people that are not confident, and a lot of women who are not confident enough in their own choices in their birth. Like, for example, in this birth, I was having a home birth. Mm-hmm. It didn't matter who was going to attend. I was having a home birth.
Yeah.
Like,
minus 50 or not.
It doesn't matter. We're staying home. But even if I would have had like an entirely different birth team show up, some people are like, what if they sabotaged me? You're allowed to not let them. Your partner is allowed to stand so strongly beside you and be so well versed. Like, it's his responsibility to also, be strong in your birth wants. Totally. And, there's always needs to be nuance and flexibility, I think.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's always on. But I think also we're allowed to be confident enough to say, well, no, we're actually not going to be doing that today. Yeah. Or like another midwife could have come in with you that was more abrasive, and I would have just been like, no. Or Cody would have been like, actually, we need you to go sit down.
Yeah, or you probably could do that. And that's a tricky one too. Like, some of us,
it's not comfortable.
No,
to say that.
It's incredibly uncomfortable.
But it is,
and I
right.
think some of us have I don't know if I'd call it a wider scope of what we do.
I'll just edit this out. Hold on.
Yeah, no problem.
Somebody's not watching somebody. Why is Ziggy barging into the room? What? He's upstairs.
I love it. Oh, I think it just is real life. You probably aren't going to have to just like, this is life. This is so cute.
Okay. Do you remember where yours?
How was I saying that? Just we'll get back. Not at all. It was like, Gosh. It was like the pressure on it. It was about the people. Or if people's outcomes aren't like what they want.
Yeah.
Right? And that our scopes are.
That's true.
Some of us do more different things. Like,
that was my share.
Sometimes
for those listening. Sorry.
Some midwives won't do first-time moms at home. Some midwives won't do trials of labors at home. All of that. So if I'm going away, I better be pretty set up for those ladies to have a successful, whatever they're doing,
aligned midwife ready.
Which gets harder and harder,
especially in this day and age.
Especially in this day and age. So it's a tricky. It's like an equation, right? Or like I was talking about this the other day. It's like a puzzle. We've got the frame, but the pieces are still moving. Right? We can't quite get it all together. But I think there's women like you with Zag's birth. Like, it's exactly, you would have just done it.
Yeah.
You weren't going to be all like, oh yeah, no. You weren't going in.
It's I think that's why I've always been not comfortable. Like, don't get me wrong. I will openly admit that, like, if the need ever arose to have an emergency or something, I would go to a hospital, obviously.
Sure.
However, like, if I ever had to be in that situation, I'm still going to have the birth I want.
Yeah.
And there's no stopping me kind of thing.
I think that's true. But you're determined that way,
that's,
right?
That's what it is. It's like...
I mean, if there's something wrong, of course you're going to whatever. But it's... and then again, I guess that just falls into the, it is the plan. Like...
And as women, we're so uncomfortable making other people uncomfortable.
True.
And it's really important if you really want to, like, mama bear for your family.
True.
You have to be okay with making others uncomfortable for your own family's well-being.
I agree with you on that.
And that could be a whole other thing.
Yeah,
but
totally, women.
Truly,
like totally.
But yeah, I could have been in the hospital for. I mean, that's an extreme comparison, but like, I still would have made sure I had a beautiful birth because I would have been like elbows out if I had to. But
right, excuse me.
Yeah,
but you, that's not.
But that was a beautiful birth.
Oh,
it was snow. Hold on, the Christmas tree was glowing in the corner.
Yeah,
it was the winter solstice 3 days before Christmas.
Yeah,
we had a podcast playing. I was like
Yeah,
listening to
I
my
just-
birth affirmations. It was snowing.
Mhm.
You guys were just in there chilling. And then it was early too in the morning.
Oh, it
So,
was
like,
beautiful.
nobody
Like,
was hungry.
yeah, it wasn't anything.
No.
And nobody was rushing. It was super
Mm-mm.
peaceful. And was that the true knot birth?
Yes.
He had the true knot in his cord. That's right.
Well, I still remember when the other midwives
Yes.
came in too.
Oh, do you?
Like, that's when I started going into transition.
Mhm.
And I was like on the ball in my kitchen because I
Right.
had gotten out of the pool because I got a little bit too hot. And we learned from Grayson's birth that when I get too hot, if I need to
Just jump
cool
out
off,
for a
just
sec, yep.
chill out for a second. And I remember her coming in and be like, "Oh, are we not that far yet?" And you were like, "No, we'll have a baby within an hour or
just you
two."
hang on.
You were like, yeah, just like, and yeah, I had gotten back in the pool, and then
What did Cody call you? He calls you something. I always
oh,
laughed at
that's
this.
it, bro.
You got this, bro.
Yeah, no, it was because he was getting
I
ice.
love it.
He was smashing me in ice chips.
Yeah,
because I was getting too hot.
right.
And I was like, "Oh, I just need some ice." And he's like, "Oh, sure thing, bro." Or something.
Bro, yeah, it was so cute, bro.
So
I was
funny.
like, let me switch that.
But that was
so
the thing.
Cute.
We were listening to like a funny podcast in his birth. And again, you always say like there's things that you know when it shifts, especially with us just knowing our energy so well.
Yeah.
But I was like, podcast off. And he really was like, okay.
Here we go.
Everybody gets a little closer. All right. Yeah, because like for me, pushing is not easy.
Yeah.
Like I struggle, like labor, fine, quick, easy, because my baby's already right there. Pushing sucks for me, man. There's no way to. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. I'm not going to.
That's fair.
Zag's birth, I say, was so gentle and so beautiful, and it was. Yeah. That doesn't mean there wasn't painful parts.
I always say that it's never easy. It's you still gotta work.
Everybody talks about pain-free birth all the time. Blah, 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 blah. Not everybody gets that.
Not everybody.
Even with all of the pregnancy, like I did hypnobirthing with Grayson, my second birth in the birth center. And I remember the hypno track playing, and I think I was like mocking it in my labor, and you were laughing because it was like this, and I was like, yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, super cute. Oh, it's a good tool.
But yeah, he was born, and it's so funny because my camera cut out again.
That's right.
Oh, I can't say that.
Edit. That's right. I forgot about that.
The other midwife grabbed the camera though and caught his birth still. Because I don't remember my own births. I thought that like pushing was a struggle for me mentally because I couldn't feel him descending. And I was like, oh, I'm working so hard and he's not coming down. I was like, this is going to be so long. And I think that's when I started talking to Cody and being like, I can't do this anymore. And he was like, of course you can do this, Rainbow. This is transition. Okay, you're about to meet your baby. And you were like, yes, of course you can do it. And I was like, no, like you guys don't understand. I don't have enough energy in me to do like another 30 minutes of this.
Right.
And everybody was like, it's fine because you couldn't even see his head yet. And then the next push, you were like, oh, here he is. And it was like, right down. And then, he had a true knot. That's not only that, but he was coming out with his fist beside his head, which is why it was hard.
A little bit harder, yeah.
Yeah, he was born with his like fist basically on top of his head. And then he had a true knot.
Yeah.
Which was so interesting.
Yes, but I also, my memory of that, when your children were at the pool, like there's the most beautiful, I'm probably on your...
Yeah, the vlog is really cool.
Oh, that is the best moment when they were like right at you, holding him. Your big kids are here.
Mackenzie and I are sobbing.
You're just the cutest. And I think, there's so many pieces, like, right? They were meant to be all those things. Like, it's like, who's meant to be there will be there. Perfect. Yeah. I always just go back to think of the lessons you just taught them when that happens like that.
Oh, truly.
And to watch Cody be so awesome with you. All the people that were meant to be there were meant to be there.
Yes.
I do. Yeah. It's funny I do like it when we talk about these.
Yeah.
Because there's things that I go, oh yeah, I remember that. Or, oh yeah, I remember that. Like I wouldn't have remembered the -50 till you said it. And I'm like, oh yeah. Like
so
we're moving back into this here now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. But, it snowed today. It's the beginning of October.
It makes me cry. Just, I hate it. It takes me a while to get used to it. Once I get going.
Because we don't get true fall. We just get whiplashed into it.
And then we just believe for a while. And then we're like, oh yeah, no.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But I think to go back to that truthfully, however people are asking those questions or whatever they're saying, who's meant to be there is meant to be there. But like you said, you must be able to speak for what you want.
Yeah.
And what and if it's a real throw off and, your midwives are sick or they've been they're at another birth, or it can be hard.
It can
It's
be.
hard for everybody.
It's allowed to be hard too.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can set the tone for it too. Like the people that come into your space, they can feel your confidence.
Mm-hmm.
They can see you. They can feel your, like, you can really set the tone for, this is just like a non-negotiable. This energy is protected in this space.
Totally.
You know, and the people coming into that, you'd have to be a pretty brick wall to not honor that.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So, and maybe trusting that it could be okay.
Yeah.
Not everybody is out to sabotage you, and the people attending never attend to do that. You know?
The compassion is have it for them as well, right? Like, you have no idea. Like, and if they're coming, their intention is probably good.
Probably good.
Right? Totally. Yeah. It's hard. It's a good question, because it is hard, but Zag's birth could be a little bit of that, right? Because we had our little team there, and then suddenly it had to change, and it worked out perfectly.
Well, originally, I don't think I had wanted an attending. Oh. And we talked about that. But then I kept it open too, because again, I'm always like, whatever, like I'm not going to be so bullheaded that I ignore things happening. Totally like fair. I'm always like that. If there's an emergency, then we go in. Like that's how I am. Yeah. But I was like, if the environment is right for that, and the weather is okay, then maybe it's just us. We'll see. And we kept that open. But then
I was probably, when I think back to the weather and stuff, all of that stuff.
Well, we talked about it.
Yeah.
And again, it wasn't like, oh, Janna just invited somebody and I wasn't okay with it. Like, no.
Right. Yeah. My friends.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, not very often.
Party over here. But yeah, true knot. So do we want to explain what a true knot is? Because it's pretty rare.
Well, it's rare when it's true knot and there's no really indication. It's hard to know it till you see it. Sometimes you go, something. But yeah, no, honestly, he would have at some point in your pregnancy, so that he can fit through and make a little.
It's like an actual knot. He would have had to like do a loop-de-loop and go through it.
Yeah.
So I had a long cord.
I do remember that, but I also didn't we have like, I never felt like you ever were like pounding. I always believe that about cord things. Like your uterus is not going to pound them out.
Like I always say, that's it was such a gentle birth, and we honestly expected it to be another, I always get this word wrong. What's it called when they're very fast births? Precipitous birth. Yes, that's the word.
And it wasn't. That's true.
And it wasn't.
Actually, yeah.
And it was surprising. Because I think I said that when you came over. I had you check me because I was curious.
Yeah.
And I think I was like a 7 or something like that at that point. And I was like, okay, he's giving us time. Interesting.
Yeah.
And it was just so gentle. And then when we saw his cord, we were all like, oh.
Just giving him enough time.
My water broke at 4:30 and he was born at 11:18 in the morning.
Yeah.
And so it was still like 6 hours.
I mean, you do so well.
That wasn't very long, but it was still like much shorter or much longer than I had anticipated.
Yeah, that's true. Super interesting. But I think that's right. That's why. It gives him enough time just to have a contraction, regroup, and then go, okay, we're going to do that again.
Because when you compare it to like Zephyr, even though that's its own story at the beginning, if we rule out how the beginning went, that was a very quick birth.
Yes.
2 hours.
Glad I didn't leave.
Yeah, oh my gosh, truly.
But that's a truthful, right? So yeah, you can usually look back and go, that's why that happened.
Yeah.
So if we could only see it at the time. And if I would have
planned it the way, if we would have planned this the way maybe we all envisioned it, where the attending that you thought was going to be there was there, and all of these things were to happen, like, would that have gone as well? If I would have gone into labor and had a really, really quick birth, would he have been okay with a true knot?
Who knows?
I love that. That's my favorite thing about life. I like those little surprises that make me go, oh, that struggle makes sense now. Or,
that makes, most of the time it does. When you can look back and go, oh, right, that's why that happened. Usually, but yeah, there's lots of cute little things about Zag's birth. Like, right?
Like a lot of, it was very, like, lots of laughter. I always eat a huge curry after I give birth.
That's right. You were laying on the sofa downstairs on your little.
I remember you having a comment in the kitchen because you were talking to Cody and you were like, keep eating. She's not eating fast enough. She needs to like eat. Because I was like so distracted.
Oh, that's you were like, right.
Rainbow, eat
something. That's right. That's right. I remember that now. But I do remember you just like tucking in onto that little sort of L-shaped sofa. I don't think your children left your side for
no, because we didn't have that we did skin to skin with everybody. I ended up cutting his cord because Cody was taking the hose out of the birth pool, and we had an issue where it like popped out of the drain. It was like,
right. This is true.
The snake.
I kind of do remember all this now when we talk. See, I love it when we talk about it. But yeah, that's.
But
right.
that was the first time where you were like, "Did the kid?" Well, you asked Mackenzie, and she was like, "No, I don't want to cut it." And Grayson was like freaked out by it too. And you were like, "Well, you can cut it." And I was like, "Oh, well, yeah, I guess I can cut it."
Yeah, totally.
I feel like you should cut your baby's cord at least once if you can.
Try it
if you have that many kids.
Totally. Why not?
It was cool.
It was great
to be able to like sever your own bond. Was interesting. You know.
Oh, interesting.
It's kind of ceremonial a little bit because we were going to do a cord burning and everything, and I had all the supplies ready.
Yeah.
But in the heat of the moment, I just decided I didn't want
too much. Yeah, that's true. Ooh, that might be another little topic, right? Like versus other people cutting their cords.
And is that maybe like? Does that maybe belong to the mom and baby?
Maybe. Ooh, it'll be interesting to watch how you parenting pieces and all of that. Interesting.
That's really interesting. Yes.
That is actually, we could really dive into that. You could really go there,
right?
Yeah, because think of like sometimes when those babies are born, you know, say like whatever, like a forceps delivery, and it's so fast and so quick, and everyone's like, rah, 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 and sometimes the dad gets to, and sometimes they don't, and some like that's chaos.
Well, even you've seen like even in very very gentle births, a lot of times the cord's cut and the baby cries. Like they feel that connection. It's an interesting thing. I think there's so much more than just cord and cord blood involved in the umbilical cord.
Like all the spirit and all that. I would agree with you on that. But what about the ones that snap? Like that.
How interesting, right? But again, what's meant to be
like that's meant to be when they do that.
Like we were gonna maybe talk about soul contracts today, but that's gonna be a different day.
That's heavy.
But
not
again,
even heavy, it's just lots.
But what if, you know, that's all part of our story and maybe what we choose to experience.
Only twice in my career, and one just recently, a Lotus, where they don't cut the cord. So they either pack the placenta or they put it in a bag or whatever. Actually, this time it was funny. It didn't take that long. It was only like 3 or 4 days. Like
it was a quick one.
It was quite quick, actually. And it's beautiful. All of the things, like no odors or people, whatever. But that, how you could study that, I don't know. But think of that. Like nobody cuts your cord by a Lotus, right? That just falls off and does it.
So, you know, animals chew off their cord. I don't think humans are gnawing on our cords, even at the beginning of time. So, like, what is the original? Are we supposed to bite it? Are we supposed to cut it? Are we supposed to? I'm using this in a very loose way. Are we meant to Lotus first?
Our own research. If anybody knows, please let us know.
Please let us know, 'cause that's interesting.
But think of that. Like, you can cut it. The baby's dad, partner, however, other parent can cut it. A doctor, an OB, like just go through all of this stuff now. I think that has got my brain going
right. I think maybe
snapping.
Maybe it's just have intention behind the practice of cutting the cord, or whatever you do with the cord.
Also, how did we get to the point that it was so special to do it? You know, like it was
because
very
the reason
rarely.
the father cuts the cord is in the hospitals. When hospital birth became trendy, it was, here, Dad, you can have the honor. When men started coming back, like coming into births, because originally men weren't in births. Well, I don't know, originally. When hospital birth became
or when
mainstream.
Dads weren't in there.
Yeah.
This is a whole other thing. Look at this.
This is interesting. We need to do some research.
I quite love it. Oh my gosh, I love it when my brain starts to work really good. Because if you actually think that through, there's a lot of things about that.
Yeah.
And there's lots of ways. You know, there was a big movement for a long time where we, big movement, us and Red Deer, honestly, cord clamps were plastic.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, yeah, we could talk about that thing. We tried to tie.
Gosh. That was Stephanie's birth. We'll talk about that in Stephanie's
another
birth.
One. But you can tie them up. And that became what we decided at the time was more gentle, to use some like tying it off.
Right.
But then we lost that practice
things like that, like plastic, cold plastic being one of the first things that goes against our baby's skin. Like, what is that? I don't know.
And then we used to get sterile metal ones, so you could reuse them.
Interesting.
Very weird, but yes. And then there is like a cord, like a cord clamping, but it's you tie it.
Well, now you can get ties. And
yeah,
I make cord ties for the shop. So
there's lots of little. Okay, we might have to dive into this cord thing and see what we
That's
can come
really
up with.
interesting.
I do think that I love it. Next time on Call the Millers.
Yeah,
it's all about cords.
His birth was very beautiful.
Oh, he had a lovely birth. You did really, really well. That's
you.
a lovely memory for me.
It was a beautiful family moment. I'm just so glad you got to be part of it.
Oh, Rainbow, honestly. Thank you for...
I'm glad you made it. I'm glad your car started.
Glad my car started. Glad I got out of here. Yeah. I don't remember, did we leave at the same time? The other midwife and I?
No, she left quite early.
Did we let her go? Yeah, probably just for the weather.
The weather was awful, and then you stayed a little bit longer.
Yeah, I've sort of felt like that, but no, you that was a beautiful, beautiful birth. So no, thank you for having me for sure.
Oh, thank you for being with me.
Oh,
I love it.
Honestly.
And then it reflects in our babies too. And and this is not to say, like, if anybody had like a more rough birth, that's not to say, oh, your baby is going to be rough because of that. No. But I think again, it comes into that soul contract situation where I feel like their personalities can sort of reflect their birth in like oh, that makes sense. You were born this way. Yeah. You know,
totally.
Like, oh, that's who. Yeah, this is who you are. Yeah. Like,
there's this other. I don't know who's doing this research or how it's being spoken about, but it's also about when the birth, like whoever is helping you with your birth, be it like maybe you've seen an OB your whole pregnancy and they just are on and they do it, but that the babies recognize their voices. Have you seen this?
No.
Super awesome. And I do think I kind of sometimes think it's true. Like there's like, even when I think about like Zag more now because he can speak back and whatever, he doesn't even hesitate to talk to me.
He never has.
He's never. Well, like he's always
my gosh, you're right. Because my babies have never gone off to other people easily. Yeah, and you've always just come in and held my babies. Well, because we're very close too. And like, I've always just passed you my baby. And because we're friends, you got to stay past the, typical 6 weeks. And we would always hang out. Yeah. And then my babies would still go to you.
So I always wonder that a little bit. Like they would have heard a lot of talking.
Your voice is comforted. Well, even my big kids, they've heard so much of you. You are such a comfort to them. Oh, they love, like, just hearing your voice that brings them comfort. They talk about it.
Oh, they're sweet. Thank you. It's like today's thankful day.
They were so excited. They're like, oh, they're sweet. Auntie Janna's coming for Thanksgiving.
No, they're so sweet. But I do think that there is some of that. But then also then we're just going to extend that, right? So it extends out further.
Right.
But also, this is so funny because this just made me think of this. I said something the other day. I was listening to a baby and I said, oh, I can hear you. I said, or how I heard what I said. Oh, I can hear you both. So I was hearing like the mom's pulse and the baby's heartbeat, but the dad heard it as I can hear them both.
He was like,
and he did it a little bit. I was like, oh, no. Sorry. And then I was like, but that makes me think of how we speak to each other and what we say.
And what's normal for you is so foreign to somebody else who doesn't know.
But also where I was going to go with all of this is like, it's all of our intention because it actually happened to us yesterday morning at the Rocky View. And the poor nurse, it was not what she meant to say. It just came out wrong. It was a shift change, everything, you're like, oh, honey. And it just came out wrong. And but her intention wasn't poor. Yeah. And it was more just, and then when she kind of clicked in and whatever, she's, not meaning at all what she had sort of come out of her mouth or whatever. But I think that with that as well, like, there's like that old movie where however you speak and the tone that you speak in and whatever, you can be reading the newspaper to your babies to bed. They're not listening to whatever. It's your voice. It's your tone and hers. Yeah. So anyway, so it's all maybe a little, look at us. We're going to do like chord research. Oh my gosh. Yes, okay. We just have to write it down so we don't forget. Oh dear. All right.
Honestly, I think we stop.
Because love it.
We have some things to research now.
Yes, we do.
Lots to chat about. As always, comment, message one of us, whatever. If you have anything you want us to talk more on, or you have something you want to hear about, because we don't we're just talkers. We'll talk about anything. If you want to hear more about like the people calling in with questions or birth stories, or you want to hear more from the birth worker side, let us know. We're just going to keep going, but anyway.
Oh yeah, our little cheers.
Thank you for
hanging out. Thanks.
We need mugs.
Yeah.
We need one that's honestly. Yeah. And truly on the other side. When I was editing, I realized to say truly all the time to reflect your honestly, because I say things that close people to me say a lot. I'll repeat them. Oh,
interesting.
And I noticed myself saying honestly a lot over the last couple years.
I'm sorry.
And then I was like, I don't want to copy her. So then I started saying truly.
Oh.
now
truly. That's a nice accent. Honestly and truly. Truly, honestly.
Okay, guys.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving
Yeah,
when you see it pass, when you see it.
Subscribe and do all the things. Comment, like, share this, and we appreciate it. And we'll see you next time.
Okay, love you.
Okay, love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.